Hi, welcome to my show. My name is Debra Wold, and I'm the CEO and I'm also the podcast host of Trash to Treasure. Trash can become in a lot of different forms. So today we're going to be talking about renewable, and the renewable is going to be leading into high-paying jobs and also jobs, high-quality jobs that are trained and educated in the right way. Stay tuned. We're going to talk more in detail about what are those high-paying jobs, how do you get a hold of those high-paying jobs, and how do they incorporate into the renewable space? They do. Stay tuned. Stuart, thank you so much for joining us again. We absolutely love having you on. Stuart, Turley is our co-host today. Stuart, would you like to say hi?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you again, Debra. I just enjoy our conversations and have had so much fun, especially on the first episode. You did great.
Oh, thank you, Stuart. I really appreciate that. You're a fun host to be with, and it's so enlightening, the information that you bring to the table.
Well, I'll pay you later.
There you go. Okay, I'll hold on to that one. So today we're going to be talking about the renewable space, but we're also going to incorporate high-paying jobs and trained jobs, okay? What I want to talk about a little more in detail is how do we marry those two together? And where do they come from? A lot of times people think that you got to go to university to get a typical career. Well, sure, for a doctor or a lawyer or something specialist like that, yeah. But not everybody can go to university. So what we are looking at today is those high-paying jobs, where do they come from? It's no secret. Where do you think they come from, Stuart?
High-paying jobs, where do they come from?
Yeah.
If you take a look at the jobs numbers that Biden has created, they've been either illegals coming in or they have been government jobs. So none have been created in the renewable space.
Exactly. And there's a little secret, but everybody knows, but doesn't want to really dive deep into it. It's those apprenticeship jobs. It's where they sit down with a mentor and they have someone who's been out there on the field, sits down with these young people, and they start training them and educating them on the job training. That training is so valuable because they can take that experience and go out there and apply it. And they can make that kind of good money that a doctor or a lawyer would be making with the benefits and all those things like that. What's it under the umbrella? It's the union. I'm a union daughter, and I don't have a problem admitting that, because the benefit of being a union daughter, it put food on the table for my family. It gave me a proper education for my family. My dad was an iron worker. When he would come home black because he was welding this and welding that, he still was doing a professional job, because when he was working on was a nuclear power plant. And everybody benefited from his work. So Stuart, where do you see right now in the renewable space where union jobs would be a benefit, or the apprenticeship programs in that umbrella would be a benefit?
There is such a huge missing hole for quality training and electricity. I mean, right now, Deborah, today, when we're filming this today, Texas has had 1 million people without power because of a storm. How is it going to happen? You're going to have the big power lines come back online. You're going to have the welders. You're going to have the cablemen and women. You're going to have the any of those kind of jobs. They're not training them out there anymore. The renewable jobs that are out there, Deborah, I see are changing. I see that companies like yours leading the edge, bringing trash to treasure or renewable waste to energy and electricity. Renewable natural gas, I see is huge. Getting rid of methane from farms and the pipelines, I see all this is huge in the future.
Exactly. And that's the benefit too. We're taking care of little elements of the trash and turning it into something. But what we're forgetting about is the younger people who can't go to college. God forbid. We won't go to the college thing right now. Next episode or two, we'll get to that one. That's where a lot of trash is going on. But there are young people who would love to be under an apprenticeship program that they can learn and they can grow. And the benefit is they will come out knowing something that others don't know and apply it. And the benefit too, what I have found with talking to different people in the apprenticeship programs and also within the union, is that they're out in the open. Their minds are open. They're not trapped in a cylinder kind of job situation.
Right.
So those who like to be out in the open, it's a great opportunity. Those who want to be mentored, it's a great opportunity. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to get parents to look at that avenue as an option to university.
Right.
So in regard to that, Stuart, what's your thoughts on that?
I'll tell you, anything other than university sounds great to me right now. I'm pretty disgusted with the university system.
Exactly. The one thing too about that university system, it's taking kids and their minds where they should be learning, and it's turning it into we're going back to, I hate to use the word Nazism, but let us say, why are we going against our fellow Americans? What's wrong with us?
I don't get it.
The union has the fist. It's like made in America, let's say. I prefer that.
Right.
Rosie the Riveter, right?
Right.
Why don't we go back to that? Why don't we or incorporate that? Maybe not go back, but incorporate that into the renewable space.
I want to give a shout out to Mike Rowe, because Mike Rowe is absolutely, we need to get him on your podcast.
Oh, love that.
Yeah, and so Mike Rowe is the epitome of jobs. I mean, he is out there saying, work with the unions, work with folks for skills and the apprenticeships. I'm all in. Did you see? I need to get a clip and have that and see that. There was a young lady that was crying. She was on just in tears saying, I've got a master's degree and my husband has a high school degree, but he's a welder and he's making 16 times more than I am and he's working half.
Yep.
I'm like, what a great testimony. And she should be happy that she married a tradesman.
Exactly. And tradesmen are good people. They're hardworking people. My next co-host that's coming up, he's brilliant. He's a business manager for the union for a long time. Hard worker, disciplined, focused, organized. I mean, you can't get any better. He's got from a great, crop in regards to that space. My dad was too. We've got to get back to using our hands again and using our mind, incorporating together to kind of solve the world's problems, whether it's in the natural gas or the oil or the renewable. Let's get them in there.
And the apprentice programs and I know this is your show, but when you invite, you got to be careful, Debra, when you invite another podcast host, because we just get excited talking about things. But when you were growing up in a union home and the trade skills and the job safety things that were going on there are important.
Absolutely.
And your dad learned skills, life lessons. He learned skills. What are some of the things you've learned from Tommy in that area?
Oh, Tommy, my next co-host, he's absolutely fabulous. He's teaching me how to communicate with the unions. A lot of people don't know how to communicate with them. If you wear a suit and you walk in there, like I used to dress up really, really nice when I go talk to the union bosses.
Right.
And they're like, not so much. But what I would tell them is like, I'm not above you and I'm not below you. I'm equal with you. I'm a union daughter, So I like to dress up and look a little snazzy. That doesn't change my moral character and my purpose and reason for inviting you. I chased you down to be in my company to build these projects for us. So we will give you jobs. So the other thing too is the perception of the union. I think sometimes it needs to be softened a little bit. They're not the hardcore fist. I mean, we're not, aggressive.
But I'll tell you what, Debra, whether we like it or not, the union representative in New York City is getting a wonderful press from them going out. And I have to give a shout out to the union members supporting Trump, whether you like Trump, whether you hate Trump. I love what they're doing. And they're saying, We don't care if you're Democrat. We don't care if you're Republican. We want America first.
Yes.
That to me is, I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care
No,
who you are. We're America
no.
first. And
Yes.
I mean, the union people are in force out there for America first.
Absolutely. And that's what we need to be. We need to get back to our basics.
Yes.
Everything that was done, built in the United States, was built by union. And
Yep.
why? Here's what I don't like. When I see corporations go ahead and get scab workers, the people that are not union workers, do they have the qualifications to make sure that what they're doing, the specs are there? Is anybody overseeing them to make sure it's done right? God forbid we have, no disrespect towards them,
Right.
but they're untrained people working on a nuclear power plant with the reactors. Are you kidding me? No, thank you. I would rather take that subsidy that everybody's getting on this renewable and apply it towards apprenticeship programs and how to train more people to work in that renewable space so that everything that's
Wow.
being built is being done right.
Absolutely. And for being, when you sit back, learning how to do welding in high school,
Oh, yeah.
I'm coming full circle around my great great granddad's blacksmith equipment.
Mhm.
My dad and I are putting in a welder into the shop. So I'm going back to my roots of welding and getting other things going, and then farming. And then I've put in solar panels, put in a pair of generators
Yep.
for backup generators and 2 wind turbines. So I'm doing all of this myself,
Mhm.
learning how to do all this kind of stuff,
Right.
so that I can teach my grandson. Now,
Exactly.
where do we go to the next level on this stuff so that we get it done here safely? You don't want me teaching any of this. I'm too much of a klutz. We need somebody that really knows how to do the job.
Exactly. It's kind of like this, the pair of the symbol of you have veterans, right? Who've gone to war, they fought in the wars, and then we kind of like dismiss them. Oh, yeah, you've been there, you're retired, go on. No, 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 no. I believe in bringing veterans back to work. They're qualified, right? They should be sitting on top of these young kids that are messing around in these schools and different places like that, saying,
Yep.
you want to play a game? You want to know what it's like to be out in the real world? Honey, here I am. I may be old, but I am polished and I know what it means to fight in wars. You have
Right.
no clue. And same thing with the apprenticeship programs. You've got
Yep.
veterans out there like Tommy, you
Yep.
know, who's able to train and teach. He's motivated me more. He actually outpaces me. And I'm like a
Yep.
jackrabbit when I work.
Yeah, I loved my conversations with him. He is a cool cat.
He
So
is.
I'll tell you, this is going to be a lot of fun on these. You're opening our first podcast we did. You've got a wide open invitation, and we've already got like 6 other guests lined up that you're going to be visiting
Cool.
with and all these kind of things. So, what do you see coming around the corner?
My next thoughts really is to target the children. I really, really want to because I am seeing the children being going through these depressions and things like that because of what they're being taught in the schools. I'm a homeschool junkie, not a junkie per se, but an advocate. My husband is an advocate. We make that a priority. That's just as important to me as apprenticeship programs and the renewables and the waste to energy. Why? It's the foundation of where our children are going to begin. They are the seed. If we do not take care of the seed, we will not have a tree. We will not have leaves and growth. They are being trained now that if you have something plastic, oh my gosh, if you put it in the wrong container, you're going to hell. That's the kind of mentality, right? I was at a
Right.
Panera Bread and this young mom, she's like, she took a plastic thing and she gave it to her daughter. She's like, okay, honey, which bin does this go in? The child was like shaking, can't read, what, 5 years old, can't read, right?
Right.
And put it in the wrong one. Oh, darling, no, 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 no. It doesn't go in that one. That's a trash. honey, this is recyclable. Now learn, plastics are bad. They must go in the recyclable bin because they're going to go off to some magical little facility where it's going to turn into something beautiful. I said to the lady, I said, do you know you just damaged your child? She said, how so? I said, because you're disciplining her on something you don't even know. I said, honey, that plastic item is not going to go into a recycle bin. It's a 5 or a 6 in the color rate. It's not going to go. It's going to go into a landfill. She goes, oh. I said, you didn't even know that information, did you? So I said, you need to call to your daughter and tell her that mommy has no clue what she's talking about. And mommy needs to get educated on what really is trash and what really is recyclable.
Oh, how fun.
And my daughter's looking at me going, what just happened? I said, it's a teaching moment. And everything in life is a teaching moment. So that's what I really want to focus in on.
I'm surprised you didn't get your head put into your BMW. I mean, your head slammed into there. I think it was great. I wanted to be there filming this episode.
That would have been fun because you know why? I look at people this way. They don't know. And
Right.
Stuart, what that means is they don't KNOW.
Right.
It's not that they NO.
Right.
They're young. They have no clue. But to discipline a child over that, not good. Go ahead.
The people don't understand that the recyclable color scale that you just described is serious.
Mm-hmm.
Not much. I believe it's less than 2% of the plastics that are put into recyclable bins are actually recycled. Is that a fair number? If I have to go fact check myself on that, but it's an extremely low number.
It is. There are some environmental groups out there that are getting plastic bottles and they're having to sort them, but they're having to take the lids off because they're the wrong color. So if you have a different color on the clear bottle, right?
Yeah.
1, 2, I don't have all the details, but I do have it in my notes, but I can bring that out factually. We can put that in the footnotes if we need to, but they have to take the lids off. Are you kidding me? Who's had their lips on those bottles? And what kind of diseases are in those bottles that you have to physically have to remove the lid?
Right.
We take the whole entire thing, pop it in the facility, and get something out of it that's beneficial.
See, that's huge. That in itself is monetary reason to not to have an extra cost and another profit in order to get it actually done. That's
Exactly.
huge.
It is huge. And that's the narrative that we're trying to share with people. Everything is about education, but educating on facts, not fiction. You know, it goes back to children are children. Let them play, let them have fun, let them learn. Don't discipline them because they make a mistake, for heaven's sakes. If they, do something like blow a building up or something, okay, yeah, I get that. I mean, that's extreme. But a plastic going in the wrong container? Seriously. I guarantee you Panera Bread couldn't care less which goes where. I've seen them. They don't have like one container for the plastics and one here. They just pop it together.
They just put it in the dumpster.
It's all virtue signaling, and that's the problem. When you virtue signal too much, we don't even know what truth is. We don't even know what facts are.
No.
So,
wow. I'll tell you again, this seems fantastic. How do people find Green Lily?
Well, you can go to our website, Green Lily Energy and Water, and also right? So it's a fantastic website. We're going to be having our links on there of our shows that you can check that out. You can go to Energy Newsbeat. We have a lot of our podcasts that are going to be placed on there. Under Stuart Turley, our producer. Yeah. And just keep watching. We'll be having lots more.
For episode number 2, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.